Tonight on the South Today, Southlanders find a way to celebrate despite the cancellation of Bluff's Oyster Festival. Lost graves in Central Otago are rediscovered, revealing the stories of early settlers. And code brown at Invercargill's Splash Palace after a big increase in pool pooping incidents. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. The cancellation of this year's Bluff Oyster and Food Festival hasn't stopped Southland residents from celebrating the southern delicacy over the weekend. A bus tour took guests to 5 mystery locations, giving the 90 passengers a special oyster experience.
Eagerly trying out something a little new. After the famous Bluff Oyster Festival was cancelled this year, Southland's hospitality industry stepped in to fill the gap, serving up a shellfish-centric bus tour good-humouredly named Not the Bluff Oyster Festival. The event took over 100 visitors to 5 mystery venues throughout Southland, with entertainment and delicacies along the way.
It's so exciting to be here. We cannot believe that it's actually here. We've been planning this for weeks and months and now we're actually doing it. So I can't wait to get on the karaoke, get this group rocking. It's going to be amazing. It's
the second year the tour's been run, and this time it's part of a bigger event called Taste Southland. Other activities on offer include a shellfish-inspired gourmet chocolate class, a 6-course menu showcasing southern cuisine, and a formal shindig called the Great Gatsby Oyster Ball.
These fantastic events are just something that's new on the calendar, so it's really good to be a part of these and enjoy a day out when it's something quite different and get to celebrate some of our hospitality venues around as well too.
Organisers say it's only in addition to the Oyster Festival and certainly won't be replacing it, aiming to have the Bluff Festival as the anchor event, with a number of other food opportunities to engage with throughout the region. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Dunedin City Councillors have started their deliberations on the annual plan following public submissions earlier in the month. A dozen requests for funding are being reviewed by the Council, with the motions being voted on by councillors. 2 of the major decisions in Monday's deliberations were around Dunedin theatres and funding for Otago Museum. The Dunedin Theatre Network gained support for $100,000 to pay for further design options and costing for the redevelopment of the 3 venues. The DCC still has $17 million for theatre redevelopment set aside in its 10-year plan. Meanwhile, Otago Museum had initially asked for a 7% increase in its levy. Councillors instead narrowly backed a boost of 5%, voting 7 to 6 in favour, along with increasing the museum's rates rebate by 1.6%. Annual plan deliberations continue tomorrow. Dozens gathered at a Central Otago cemetery over the weekend as the remains of lost early settler graves were reburied. The remains were examined as a part of an archaeological project, picturing what life was like for those in the unmarked graves more than 100 years ago.
Bodies over a century old being laid back to rest after lost graves were rediscovered. The Southern Cemetery's archaeological project held its 3rd and final reburial over the weekend after examining 12 remains excavated from the Drybread Cemetery. Work on the remains started in 2020 to help discover what life was like in the 1800s in the Maniatoto Gold Rush era settlement.
And we've examined the people and the clothes and the coffins and so on, and today has been the reburial ceremony for those European and Chinese people.
From the remains that were examined, that ranged from infants to adults, 5 were found to be of Chinese descent. Many of them immigrated to the country in that era in search of money to bring back home to feed their families. The studies done from the project were able to determine the health, well-being and society of those early settlers in the Otago region.
Reinter these people back where they were found, and now with some identity as to who they were, and their graves have been found again.
In total, the archaeological project has uncovered the remains of 73 early settlers from 3 different cemeteries across the region. Analysis is still ongoing with the Drybread discoveries, where a monograph detailing their findings of the people and the community they lived in will be made. In Drybread, the South Today.
Farming families from across New Zealand have flocked to Southland to celebrate rural history. The Century Farm and Station Awards recognise rural families for their commitment to farming.
A celebration of rich rural history. Around 40 farming families from as far south as Invercargill and as far north as Auckland gathering in Lawrence to celebrate more than a century of farming. Young and old enjoyed the chance to mix at Century Farm and Station Awards, with booklets of farming history passed around the tables for guests to read. 36 families were awarded with their Century Farm plaques this year, and 4 dedicated groups were recognised for over 150 years in the farming sector.
It's something that they can be most proud of, and we are, as a committee, also are very proud.
Families enjoying the chance to share their farming histories, hoping it will continue to pass on for future generations.
We've got families here that have been farming the same land for 150 years, some of them for 100 years, and they're hoping that it'll continue for another 150, another 100 years to come.
The names of those marking a century or more of farming will be added to the record books at the Alexandra Turnbull Library in Wellington for future generations to appreciate. In Lawrence, the South Today.
Some keen young bakers in Central Otago cooked up a storm last Friday, organising a bake sale in support of Pink Shirt Day. Pupils from Clyde Primary School showed their support for the anti-bullying day by dressing up in pink and having the goodies to match. The sweet treats were a massive hit, with a huge queue winding back to the playground, meaning the baking sold out quickly. Another group opened up their own nail and hair salon during their lunch break, attracting both boys and girls keen to get their nails painted and hair sprayed pink. All money raised by the students for Pink Shirt Day has been donated to the Alexandra Sticks and Stones anti-bullying organisation. Invercargill's Splash Palace made national headlines back in 2015 for the weekly exploits of a possible mystery pooper. Now, similar issues have returned, although the pool bosses aren't looking for a single suspect these days.
There's something in the water at Invercargill's Splash Palace, but it's certainly not pleasant. 16 code brown incidents have struck the facility so far this year, forcing the closure of pools for a total of more than 40 hours. Figures released to the Southland Express this week show pool pooping is up nearly 20% from last year, with 12 incidents in the leisure pool, 2 in the learners pool and 2 in the main pool. The response procedure is to clear swimmers from the affected waters and remove the faecal matter with scoops or a vacuum. The water's then tested and chlorine is added, with the pool remaining off limits for a set period depending on the severity of the incident. Splash Palace are asking public to avoid the pools for 48 hours after being sick and 7 days if they're recovering from diarrhoea. While the incidents don't cause additional staffing costs, there is a loss of revenue and an inconvenience to members of the public. March this year was one of the busiest months in the pool's history. Swimmers hoping the growth won't signify more people dropping the kids off at the pool. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Whai Yakane, still to come on the South Today. Dunedin motocross royalty makes the history books again as dirt flies over in France, and a locally written kids' song makes it to the world stage for Sing Up Day.
Great Britain has a collection of varied landscapes and countryside to rival anywhere else in the world. And the best way to see it is to walk.
Drive away your way with 3 incredible offers on the Honda CR-V Adventure Ready range. Choose from 2.9% finance with 0 deposit, third finance, or lease a new CR-V from just $136 per week. These offers are only available for a limited time, so be in quick. From Honda.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
You're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
Earth is a planet of extremes. Extreme places and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we count down to find the most unusual, the most extraordinary, the most extreme.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. Dunedin motocross star Courtney Duncan has made history after her latest double Grand Prix victory in France.
Duncan was competing in the fourth round of the FIM Women's Motocross Championship over the weekend, on a track described as highly technical and challenging. The 27-year-old made a dramatic downhill double pass in the opening race, but crashed into a muddy bank while closing in on six-time world champion Italy's Chiara Fontanesi. But Duncan was able to quickly get back on the bike, winning the first race by 27 seconds. She went on to beat Fontanesi by 7 seconds in the second race, after leading from start to finish. That extends Duncan's championship lead this season by 20 points, while the double moto victories broke the record for the most ever Grand Prix wins, with a whopping 22.
No, it was a really good weekend for me. I cannot ask for too much more. Like you say, 2 moto victories, 2 different tracks.
Duncan is now set to return to New Zealand for training and a short break before heading to the Netherlands in August for round 5 of the Women's Motocross Championship.
A Dunedin songwriter is showing off his work on the global stage, writing a song to be heard in schools all around the world. Tamuri Spicer has created a song for the worldwide event Sing Up Day, bringing school children from different countries together to sing.
Spreading his message across the globe. University of Otago student Tamuri Spicer is one of 3 songwriters from around the world commissioned to create a song for this year's Sing Up Day. It's a global event giving school children in different countries the opportunity to come together to sing.
It's a really powerful thing for me to think that not only am I sharing some of my own personal knowledge with the world, I'm also helping to learn about my own whakapapa and my own Māoritanga, and then I'm helping my knowledge, like I said, is going out to the world.
Spicer's song, Blossom Out, was written about how people spend too much time worrying about jobs or money instead of seeing wonder in the world.
We should be focused on being happy, living in the natural world, and just appreciating life and the beauty of it.
Spicer's one of 4 660 scholarship winners for 2023, which includes living in the New Zealand Band's former student flat at 660 Castle Street. But the musician's still getting used to becoming more well known.
I'm a kid from a backcountry farming village up in North Canterbury, and yet now not only am I studying at an amazing university, I'm also, like I said, getting my music to go worldwide, which is just, it's incredible.
Sing Up Day takes place on June 28, with a video compilation of the performances to be made available to watch on YouTube afterwards. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Southlanders enjoy their oysters despite the cancellation of Bluff's Oyster Festival with a mystery bus tour. Recently rediscovered dried bread graves have told stories of what life was like back in the 1800s for early settlers. And Invercargill Splash Palace is on alert after 16 code brown incidents so far this year at the city's pool facility. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome Associate Editor Mike Houlihan. Hello Mike.
Good evening, Hannah.
What can we expect in tomorrow's paper?
Well, the DCC, again, it's reconvened its annual plan hearings today, and we've got extensive coverage of that, including a crucial vote on the future of funding for the museum.
Yes.
We have the coverage of the opening day of the John and Mike Shell Brackenbridge inquest in Christchurch. The New Zealand sheepdog trial started down south today, and we've got a nice photo story about that.
Stunning.
In sport, we're starting a long look at the career of Aaron Smith as he begins winding down to his final home game for the Highlanders. And in traveller section, Mike Yardley's gone off to Rhode Island.
Oh, lucky thing. All right, we look forward to reading tomorrow's paper. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, a front will arrive on the south coast later tomorrow with strong west to southwest winds and brief rain. Then the front should weaken as it moves north over the region. Heading to the top of the South Island. Fine with southwesterlies and 16 up in Nelson tomorrow. Greymouth looks good with light winds and a high of 15. And down to Christchurch, clear skies with a fine 15 degrees. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago. Ashburton's looking fine with light winds tomorrow and 15 degrees. Te Maru, some cloud, that's high cloud and 16. And Oamaru, a breezy and slightly cloudy 15 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. Cloudy with fresh westerlies through here tomorrow. By numbers, it'll be a cooler day in Wanaka and Queenstown with highs of 13. But Alexandra is looking warmer with 16 degrees by afternoon. Heading further south, it'll be quite windy in these parts tomorrow as the westerlies pick up before some late rain, and expect 13-degree highs inland in Gore and Balclutha and coastally too over in the Catlins. And down to the deep south, cloudy with strong westerlies and a low of 9 overnight in Invercargill. Tomorrow's windy too with some morning rain and a high of 13. And into Wednesday, it's looking fine and sunny, but the fresh cold southwesterlies will be chilly, so there'll be a cool high of 11 degrees. And finally, heading to Dunedin. Cloudy tonight with westerlies in town and a low of 6. Tuesday's cloudy and dry for most of the day with changing winds before brief showers in the evening after a 15-degree day. In midweek, it's looking fine and sunny with light southwesterlies, and the day's high will be 14 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand, and you can also now follow us over on Facebook. Just search for The South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite o popo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Living Well Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Passion, drama, competition, rivalry, marketing, numbers, atmosphere, power, fight, attack, intuition, love, hate, money, cash, millionaires, fans, and fans. Oh boy.